Today I'm going to be creating a bright red ombre. I'm going to be taking from this before, putting some low lights and a stretch root and some highlights in, and we're going to create something along these lines. I'm just starting out by putting some highlights in around the nape of the neck, so when she pulls it either in a ponytail or brings it over her shoulder, she's going to feel nice and bright. And I'm not taking it all the way up to the root as in you would with a highlight. I'm sort of feathering it up a little bit just to help it blend, but afterwards I will be doing a stretch root anyway, just to keep it nice and seamless. And once that foil's in, I'm just flipping it over and I'm putting a dark brown. It's a level 40 and I'm just stretching it over our natural hair to get rid of any lines of demarcation. On the inspiration photo, the root colour looked more black than a level 4, but this client doesn't look very light on here. She's got quite light natural hair and she doesn't come in very often to get her hair done, so I didn't want to make her roots so obvious when they came in. And also, just in case she ever wants to go back to blonde, black would just be an absolute nightmare to remove, so I went for a 4 instead. You're also going to gradually see my hands getting darker and darker because I'm not a hairstylist that wears gloves. I regretted that when I went out the same day with hands that were dirt brown, but never mind. And now that we're moving away from the hairline, when I go up the hair, I'm going to be doing slices instead of weaves. Slices are a lot more impactful, so you'll see a lot more of that bright red when we put the red on. So I flip the slice out of the way and I'm just putting the dark root on the hair underneath it, taking it over where our natural hair ends, and then just combing it down. And I'm still just going to be feathering that bleach up towards the edge of the foil, so when it come out it's going to already have like a nice soft blend to it. Then we can make it even softer by doing the root melt. When I'm flipping the foils up as well, I'm also just keeping the blonde ends in the foil just so I don't get any of that dark colour on them. It does obviously end up happening sometimes when you're putting such a dark colour on, you can get it in the blonde, but I'll show you how we'll fix that later. And the interior is pretty much just really repetitive the whole way. Take a slice, clip it up, put your dark root on, comb it down, and then just keep going until we get right at the top of the crown where we'll go back to weaves, just so it's a bit more softer when she wears it down. I seem to have been getting more of myself in these videos and what I'm actually doing, still getting used to the angles. I'm also still making sure that I'm keeping all them blonde ends inside the foil, just so I don't get any brown on them. And for the final section right on the crown, I'm just weaving it again, I'm not doing a slice. This is just so it looks nice and soft and blended when it's all down, it's not too intense. And at this point I'm just checking that I haven't got any little brown splotches on those blonde ends, but I did notice a couple. So all I'm doing is I'm grabbing the hair, pulling it nice and tight and putting it on the back of my hand. Or I'm holding it, actually I'm lying. And I'm going to just freehand balayage it a little bit, just with a lighter developer, just to make sure that those blonde spots don't stain and stay in the hair. And now coming around to the front of the hair, we did want quite a vibrant thick money piece. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do slices around the full hairline, but when we get at the top, above where our eyebrows and eyes are, I'm going to do 3 back-to-back slices. This will just make sure she's got a really thick vibrant money piece so she can really feel those red vibes coming through. I'm also now using a ball and brush with conditioner just to pin those blonde ends into the foil, because we do not want to get any brown on them, and it's just going to keep them nice and healthy as well. There's a lot more blonde around the front, so I didn't want to cause any breakage by overlapping, so that conditioner is just going to keep the bleach from touching the blonde hair, but whilst also keeping the blonde hair safe from getting any brown on it. And then just going in between those foils and putting the little root tap on as well. I sometimes find that this place is quite easy to forget about, at least just for me anyways. But yeah, just always make sure to remember to do your root in between these foils. And also try not to paint the entirety of your client's face. That's always a good point. And for some reason the video cut itself at the end, so just like at the back, the last section on the parting was a weave, not a slice, again just so it looks nice and blended. Then we also did the freehand balayage on those ends as well, but how satisfying is that? So now I'm going to go and do the root melt and tone. So I've just split a hair into two and I've took the 4O again and I'm just painting it like an inch, maybe it's an inch and a half over where that blonde starts. And then doing your normal hot cross buns and then taking it the inch and a half over the sides as well. And then for the entirety of the back section, doing the same, inch and a half over that blonde where that blonde starts, and then just giving it a good comb through as well. And then on the sides, I work vertically. I take a vertical section down, then pull it back. And then what I'm doing there is I'm not going to take it down the inch and a half. Every section, when I get closer to the front, I'm going to take it down slightly less and less. This is because when you want to do a balayage, you want to create like a teardrop effect. You want it to be higher in the front and slightly lower at the back. So I'll take it down like a few centimetres less every single time. So when I'm right on the hairline, I'm literally barely even touching it. Like I'm just ever so slightly tapping it. Therefore it's going to be higher in the front, nice and bright, and more rooty at the back. And then just give it a really good comb just to make sure you're not going to have a harsh line or anything. The key to trying to avoid splotches of brown on the blonde hair is to make sure the hair is detangled before you start doing your root melt. It's when your comb gets stuck, that's when you start to see you get those little brown lines through the ends. And then as soon as I finish that, I'm going to go through. I'm using Crazy Colour Fire with a little bit of Ruby Rouge. And then what I do is when I'm putting the end colour on, I'm taking it slightly over the root and then just giving it a really good thorough rub down through the ends and then combing it again. When you put the colour over the root, it just helps the two colours to blend together even more perfectly. I do that for pretty much every single root melt that I do. And then just keep combing it, because then the more you comb it, the better your blend will be. I'm also taking really fine thin sections just to make sure that colour really saturates well. I'm not sure if it's just like with me, but I find Crazy Colour can be quite hard to saturate the hair because it's quite thick. It doesn't like to spread very well. So the thinner your sections are, the better saturation you'll have. And when you come to wash Crazy Colour out, normally you wouldn't shampoo it and you'd always use freezing cold water. In this case, I did use shampoo because it has got that semi-permanent colour on at a root. But if you were ever mixing multiple Crazy Colour, like a full head of vibrant colours, never shampoo and use freezing cold water. This prevents bleeding and all the colours merging together. And then this is the after. I'm absolutely, honestly, like there's not very often where I just think I want that hair on my head. But doing this colour, I genuinely got jealous. Now I want to dye my hair. But unfortunately, like I just can't be bothered to put up with the bleaching process because my hair's black. But oh my god, I love it so much. Literally so pretty.